Hello and welcome to the Knitting with a Capital K podcast. My name is Bethany. I have been knitting with a capital K for almost 2 years now. And I decided to make a podcast so that I could share my journey and learning with the knitting community. And the knitting community is amazing. And so it's been great. This is episode 6. And I have a couple finished objects to share with you. Not just finished objects, but finished projects, which is really great. So, before we get into it though, if you are taking notes like a college student while I'm talking, that's completely unnecessary. There are links to everything that I talk about in the description box. And if I forget one, you can tell me. Send me a message or comment below about something that I may have neglected to put a link to. And also, speaking of putting links in the comments or suggestions in the comments, I am overwhelmed by the amount of stitch markers in the world, but also I don't have enough stitch markers and I need more cute stitch markers in my life. It actually does really help with my projects. As my husband says, never underestimate the power of cute. And so if you have a set of stitch markers that are your favorite, can you tell me where they came from in a comment below? Because I am very interested in curating a wish list for myself around stitch markers. I have this great woodland set. It has 5 and they're the leverback ones. Those are my favorite kind. But I only have 5 and I have more than one project going right now. So obviously I would like some more. So now on to finished objects. So first of all, let's look at these socks. They are so cute. I would put them on blockers, except they're for a child, obviously, because they're so small. They might actually fit on a blocker. His feet are not as long as my feet, but I think they're as wide as my feet. He's 6 years old, guys. Crazy. Soon he and I will be able to wear the same pair of shoes. Anyway, he's gonna be a giant. So these are Blippi and Rocky from Paw Patrol inspired socks. I know I said the green made me think of Minecraft, which is a game that he plays and likes, but when I asked him about it, he said that this was for Blippi and this was for Rocky from Paw Patrol, who is the pup who has the green recycling truck. So, wow, that green is so vibrant. I love it. He loves it, which is the most important thing. And that's, the main reason that I like them. I didn't have to look at a pattern for these. This is the first sock that I've cast on that I didn't have to look up anything. Like I just cast on and started knitting, which is cool. I definitely looked up how to do this Afterthought heel though, and I really like the Afterthought heel. I didn't think that I would, because I'm one of those that usually weaves in my ends as I go, so that when it's done, it's done. So that when it's done, it's done, and I don't need to wait to do other stuff to have it be done. So, that's not a problem, right? And that's why I thought I wouldn't like the Afterthought heel, because once I'm done with the Kitchener stitch on the toe, I want to be done, right? But I did not mind. I didn't mind this Afterthought heel business, mostly because the stockinette that you do, right? Like this is all the stockinette that you have to do before you put in that heel for the shorty. And it feels like you didn't have to knit very long for that before you put in the heel. And so that's great. I've been calling these my K squared heels because this is the umbrella toe sequence from Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. If you don't follow the Bakery Bears, oh my goodness, you should. They are the cutest people. They're the cutest people. And they have a bomb awesome podcast. And she's been knitting, it seems like forever. And he is like really open about his progress and his struggles. And I like identify with Dan in his knitting journey so much. And then I followed the Afterthought heel tutorial from Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady. And the way that she has you do this corner is, it's just a great idea. Great idea, you know? So this is my K squared heel, and I love it. And I cast on 60 stitches. For my socks, I usually cast on 64. I always cast on 64, actually. I've never, well, once. Once I cast on more because it was like a super long sock. And those calves ain't 64 stitches, I'll tell you that. But 60 stitches, did 10 rows of the little ankle. And obviously, since it's an Afterthought heel, that's where I put it in. It was after 10 rows. And we've got our little matching heel and toe. And this yarn is from a shop on Etsy, a hand dyer on Etsy. I forget her shop name, but obviously I will link it below. And because it is a colorway that's inspired by the Ravenclaw colors. And then this is a little mini from my local yarn shop, the Knitted Wit gems, and it's in the colorway Shamrock. It's just so vibrant. I'm not sure what that's ever going to go into next. Probably something else for him. But they're very cute. He wears them. He likes them a lot as long as I dry them. If I don't dry them, he says they're itchy. So, yeah. Second finished object. Da, 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 da. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. They're so cute. And it's a good thing too because they're replacing mittens that I stole from my mother. I'm actually heading up to Indiana today. We're going to be going up to Indiana for about 11 days. And my mother lives in Indiana, and so I will be able to give her these. So the mittens that I stole from her actually had like this leather piece on the palm of the mitten, I'm sure to protect it from more wear or like give you more grip. And guys, I have some navy leather that is at least big enough to do some palm pieces. And this part is actually really soft. It's been bent around a ton. And so one will probably be a softer palm than the other. But I'm going to bring these with me and potentially sew this on her sewing machine. I have a sewing machine here, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time to put the leather on before I leave today. And if I do, great, but I don't. I'm one of those that feels like I need to clean my whole house before I leave. And my husband is even staying here while the kids and I are going to Indiana. So I shouldn't feel like I have to do that, but it's habit, I guess. I hear Golda from the Fiddler on the Roof in my head. I won't leave a dirty house. Anyway, I'm so pleased with these. They're so warm. The alpaca, guys, so warm. So I did a provisional cast on for these because you guys know I just love that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Ah, so cool. So it's double thick on the wrists because I wanted to make sure to keep those super warm, as I've been hearing that your wrists are actually a really good way to regulate your temperature. And so they're so cute. Oh my goodness. One thing that I wish I had thought of before I started them is to continue this cable motif down this part, because it kind of just starts there. It looks super cute when it's open, but I wish I had done the cable motif on the top, which would be easy to modify the next time I do it. And I think I will do them again because I want some. I don't know if I will have enough for a whole nother set of flip tops. I think I'm going to start with making the mitt part. And if I just get through some mitts for myself, then that's fine. Because I play the ukulele and I'm going to be caroling with my mother in December. She owns an inn and my dad owns a little country shop in Metamora, Indiana. If you are around there, you should go there. It's super cute. It's amazing. Their food is so good. And that's because my mother-in-law and my father-in-law are often cooking there. They are like foodies. You know what I mean? Like some people call themselves foodies and you're like, you just like good food. But like foodies are like dissecting the best way to make food, and then they make the food, and then even though it's the best food you've ever had, they like ask you how it could be better. That's the type of foodies my in-laws are. And oh my word, my husband is a good cook, so he just does most of the cooking because he's better at it, and I'm okay with all of that. So I cast on for the 7.5 inch hand circumference in the pattern. And the twisted rib on there, I did both ways. I heard in a podcast recently that you only have to do the knits through the back loop if you're doing a twisted rib in the round. Did not know that until I was done with all the twisted rib in this project. So, yeah. So it's very tight twisted rib. Which is good. Except on the inside, I just did a regular rib because no one is going to see that. No one's going to see the inside except me and my mom. So this little motif is so cute. It's like this little 1x1 cable situation with some twisted ribs here. And then I wish I had cast off a little more loosely on this one. It's a little, you can see like the give is not the same as this one. So, oh well, they're done now. And I'm not gonna do that. I'm not just gonna take this off to redo the bind off. So that's we're gonna let that go. We're gonna let it go. So this is the Juniper Moon Harriet Farm 100% alpaca yarn in the colorway Cornflower. It is, if you've never felt it, I don't know how to describe to you how soft this is. It's just, oh. It's the same yarn that I am making my Cala Galdana out of, which has become an inactive whip because it's no longer summer and I'm not as motivated to get to it. But it's, oh my word, it's so soft. So, and I also held it together with this, this is a Merino silk blend and it's in the colorway Indigo. Here you can see indigo there, and it is a super fine merino silk blend. I am just going to show you the ball band on it because I have no idea how to say any of that, and I'm not going to butcher it and try. So, you know, there you go. I love the color that it made. I love that. It's beautiful, and I am not sure if I will use the same merino silk for myself because I'm actually using this as one of the colors for my Shawlography shawl. And yeah, I'm gonna finish the Shawlography shawl before I break into this, which I don't think I'll have any left after the shawl, so I should probably just get a different a different skein. Next is, oh guys, so much progress. Do you remember with the bunny sweater how I was like here the last time we talked? Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this. Wow. So I bound off for the body last night. I stayed up way too late last night. I bound this off, then I was trying to do the podcast. I failed twice, had some issues with my phone and with my light, and so I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go to bed. So we're trying again today. This is the first time I've done a podcast while my children are conscious, so you know. I obviously am on the sleeves, but what I'm gonna do first are the ears, because if I get the sleeves, I'm gonna do the sleeves 2 at a time, so that whenever we reach Halloween, I'm gonna put some waist yarn in there so you can wear it in the stitches on the sleeve, and at least they'll be the same length, even though that they won't be done. Hopefully it'll be done. That's the main goal. But my plan B is if they're not done, at least they'll be the same length, and then I'll just finish the sleeves after Halloween is done. And if I do the ears first, then that part will just be done, and he'll look like a little bunny, and everybody will match, and it'll be adorable. So that's the plan. I'm probably just going to do like 10 rows, and just keep up with both of them in that way. I'm going to my sister's house tomorrow, and so I'm excited to be able to measure the sleeves on him. Hopefully I'll be able to get the sleeves done while I'm there. We have a couple other projects to do on there, so we'll see if I can get the sleeves done in a few days. But if not, I'll at least be able to try this on him and be able to measure like where I need to, like how long I need to go before we see each other again on Halloween. So that'll be nice. Next is, socks. Okay. Of course, socks, right? This pattern is, the bunny pattern is from outstandingcrochet.com. I don't want to say her name wrong, so I'm not going to, but I'll put it in the link below. This is bunny sweater number 4 that I've made, and this size that I'm doing right now, I've actually had to modify the pattern to be able to get it to that point. You start with the hood and work your way down, and it's a raglan increase, so I only increased the hood by a small number of stitches. I think like 10 maybe stitches. And so of course, since you're increasing so much from that point, it's just kind of exponential, and it's worked out really well, and so I'm glad. I wasn't sure if it would be right or not. But these are my brother's birthday socks. His birthday is in October. I don't know if I'm going to get them done before October is done. But you know, he's a sweet and patient individual, so I'm not too stressed about it. I chose this color because he really likes this filmmaker Wes Anderson, and I thought this looked like the color palette that Wes Anderson uses for a lot of his films. It's a self-striping in Paton's Kroy sock. Their colorway is 70s Stripes, and I think it's really great. I love doing striped socks because they seem to go faster. Instead of being like, oh, I'm going to finish this row, I'm going to finish this stripe, or I'm going to like get to the next repeat or something. Same with pattern, like stitch pattern textured socks. It's, you know, you can't just stop in the middle of the pattern, so you got to get to the end of the repeat. So they seem to go faster. I'm doing his at 72 inches. He does have a bigger foot than me. Obviously, I think he wears a 9.5 shoe. He texted me his foot length, which is nice. But I think his foot might be the same width as mine. So if these come out a little bit big for him, I'll probably go down to 68 stitches or something like that. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I'm starting to collect information about my family's feet so that I can get them better socks every time. Yeah, next is this one. I actually got this sock done. I know maybe it should be in the finished objects portion, but I feel like it's not done because I need to make the other one. And I really, really want to wear them and I can't, and so that's why it feels unfinished. This is the first sock that I cast on and had to look at nothing to be able to finish it. I didn't have to look up anything. I didn't have to do anything to like finish it myself. And that's so cool, guys. It's so cool. By the time I got to the end of it, I was like, did I just do this by myself? It's like that audio that's like, am I better than everyone? So I haven't blocked these at all or washed them or anything. They're just spanking new off the needles. I did do something new with this pair too. This is the same K-squared heel, and I really like this yarn. Vine did a pair of socks in this yarn and I was immediately obsessed. I used to think I wasn't a pink person, but I think it's just I like this kind of pink, you know. And because people who say they don't like pink end up saying they like mauve. That's pink, y'all. It's okay. You can like pink. It's okay. It does, yeah. So the thing that I did that I haven't done before is I cast on my 2.5s and just continued without switching any needle sizes. Usually I do my cuffs in 2.25s and then switch to my 9-inch 2.5 millimeter needles. And I think I'm going to go back to that. I don't necessarily like how like it's not as cinchy as the other ones. So I'm going to make the other pair of socks to match, but I think after this pair I'm not going to do that again. It's worth the switch to have it be that way. This is in Paton's Kroy once again, Brown Rose Marl. If you are wanting to get into socks, Paton's Kroy is such an affordable way to start. And yeah, they come in 50-gram balls, 50-gram skeins. And you guys saw how much was left in the 50-gram skein of my first pair of socks, right? It was like so small. This is what's left after one sock, right? I had to buy two because it was like so small, right? This is what's left after one sock of this yarn. What? Oh, he's singing. Oh, that's so sweet. Sorry, baby cute brain derailed me. So I think I will be able to get another sock out of this, which will be great because maybe I'll make a pair of socks for my sister with this same yarn because I think she'd be into that color palette. And yeah, I know that my first pair of socks I did a full leg on, but like this is more than a full leg, right? This is more than just this business, right? So now I've turned into Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. If you watched her podcasts from a while back and she was comparing opal yarns, like old opal yarns to new opal yarns, and why one was thicker and why one was thinner, I'm doing the same thing right now. And I'm like, why is this thinner? Why? Because if you look at the 70s Stripes one, it's like more of a sport weight, and this is more of a true fingering weight, which I'm not mad about. I like this. I actually like this better. So I'm wondering if this is just a fluke, because this looks the same. These look the same. So if the colorway, I don't know. So I am curious if I get another thing of Kroy socks, like in a different color or something, if it'll be the true fingering weight or not. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind having more yarn yardage. I don't mind. It's very nice. So, sorry, had to talk to one of the children. So interested to see if that yarn continues to be that way. Next is my test knit for Katie Anders Knits. I've barely started on it, but look at that. It's so cute. Ah, it's so good. This is the sock set from Amber Waves Fiber. Sorry, the only editing software that I have available is my phone, and I can pause it and I can start it, and that's all. So that's it. This is the Amber Waves of Fiber Pair Caravel colorway. Isn't that just yummy? And the test knit is for Katie Anders Knits pumpkin spice socks. It's a textured sock. It just looks so yummy. You guys probably remember I did her snowy day socks, and they're so perfect. They're so cozy, so long, so good. Ugh. And that was the first colorwork project I'd ever done. These are, I need to make the other one, obviously, but for a successful test knit, you only need to make one sock. So at this point though, when I finish the pumpkin spice socks, I will have 3 half pairs of socks. So I'm gonna need to get on that. Change that a little bit, and that's okay. It'll be great. I'll just be able to knit 3 socks and then have 3 pairs. It'll feel like I'm all done. So this is just a few rows of ribbing. I think I'm gonna do this as my 30 minutes of knitting for a while. Just doing a project that I want to do more than other things in the morning. I'm not sure if it's gonna be this or if it's gonna be my Shawlography shawl, which is next on my list of whips, but I'm not gonna show it to you because I did a separate video about that. So if you don't want to see it, don't worry, you're not in danger of any spoilers. You don't need to skip anything. You can just go to that other video and see clue 1. I'm in the process of finishing clue 2 right now. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stay, up to date and not get behind. And what is behind? You know what I mean? But I still, in my recovering perfectionistic tendencies, I still struggle with that a little bit. So there's something about getting the present clue done before the next clue is released that gets me a little bit. So once clue 4 is released, I don't think I'm going to care. Like, there's no deadline for that. But yeah. Anyway. So last whips, basically, which I am not even sure if I can call them whips because I haven't done anything with them yet. But I'm going to be adding the last of the bunny hoodies to these 2 sweaters. I'm going to put a brown hood on this one and a cream hood on this one and just attach them to these bot sweaters. These are sweaters, well, this one I thrifted. This one is just a hand-me-down from, the 6-year-old, which obviously doesn't fit him anymore. Oh dear. One more pause. So, I won't have enough time to do the whole bunny hoodie for the 2 boys before Halloween, obviously, because I'm not even sure if I'll get the sleeves done for this guy before Halloween. So I am just gonna attach hoods to these 2 sweaters, and I think it'll be adorable. I think it'll be adorable. And the boys are so small that I actually feel like it'll be a better use of the knitwear to do that. So these are both acrylic purchased sweaters. So I'm gonna get some yarn and just bring it with me from the blankets that are also in active whips right now and see what matches these the best and just add hoods to them. I don't know if I will actually end up sewing the hoods on because this fabric versus the fabric that I would make with the yarn that I have are very different. So yeah, we'll see. I'm completely okay with doing that, but I kind of would like to try like a 3-needle bind off or something, but I don't even know how I would pick up stitches this little. So I'll probably sew them on, which will be super cute. And then they'll actually be done in time. And everyone will be a bunny. And it'll be adorable. Are those all the whips? I think that's everything. I'm still slowly but surely working on my Cala Galdana. I did like a row, I think. But there's no rush on that. And the blankets I've not touched at all. So I need to give myself maybe, to do like a stripe or a block a month. Because I'm not going to get them done in the time frame that I originally thought. Because those were my only projects when I first started out knitting with a capital K. And now, obviously, they are definitely not my only projects. So, just a few acquisitions to share with you. I got some really cute gems from my local yarn shop. I know that with the Shawlography, you are supposed to get 100 grams of fingering weight yarn, but I didn't have the patience to wait to go to my local yarn store to do it. So these are a few of the colors that I chose. I already had these in my stash, these minis. Well, not these. These are new ones. But I already had these colors in my stash. And so I just cast on with the yarn that I had because I wasn't going to be able to go to the yarn store that week. So I got more of these, and we shall see if it'll actually end up being 100 grams of fingering weight yarn or if it ends up being like 80 or something like that. So yeah, very curious about that, how that's gonna be. And let's see, I do have my Gothic Queen in my colors, and then there's, let me see, there's one that I'm missing here. Oh yeah, the blue, duh. So these are my colors for it, and I'm loving how they are knitting up. The design is beautiful, but also if there's a beautiful design with colors you love, it's really great. And of course, you guys know I love this color. I was going to turn it into my sock pattern, but I realized that my sock pattern has some real, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with that one or if I am going to do a different one. So this has some cashmere in it, and it's really great, but I'm going to probably get a different skein of special to use for the sock design that I want to do. I had to get another skein of the Snowy Day Socks yarn, and I'm glad I did because I actually will be able to share the color with you and everything. The sticker is over the color because I couldn't, because they wound the, it's Antofagasta is the color. They wound the hank for me at the yarn store, and I didn't ask them for the ball band, which was silly. But that is what is in the Snowy Day Socks, is this one, and this one is the purple in there. So I need to make one more of them. I didn't have enough yarn left after the first skein. I would have had enough yarn left for 2 socks had I not accidentally made socks for my little girl. And you guys remember that story. So this is what was left of the first skein after I made myself socks and her socks. Or well, myself sock and her socks. So I obviously didn't have enough, and I'm glad that I have it now so that I can actually finish it. And the thing that I'm so excited about is We Share Needles got me on this. It's so good. This is Woolens and Nosh. This is a DK weight yarn, and the colorway is called This Is the Way because it's a Mandalorian colorway, and I love it. I love it. It is so perfect. And she sent me this note. I just loved the note. It said, "Thank you so much for your purchase. You rock!" in exclamation points, and I appreciate you. Now go and make something stripey. So great. And she also gave me one of these, which I love these stickers. I love them. I don't have like a water bottle that I put things on like this, but I love them. And I'm going to figure out what to do with them. So I want to make a Musselburgh with this, but I'm going to take a page out of Jonathan Day's book and do the inside with something super soft. So I have been thinking about doing it either with cashmere. If I can afford cashmere, that would be amazing. I've never worked with cashmere before. Well, like never worked with more than 10% cashmere. Or I'm going to do it in the Juniper Moon. So I will have like this. I don't think is going to work, right? That color is not going to work. The orange that I have for the Cala Galdana, I don't think I'll have any of that left by the time I'm done with that top. So I'm going to have to get something to match this anyway. And since I'll be doing a half and half Musselburgh, did I say I want to cast on a Musselburgh? That's what I want to cast on. And do the inside half with something super soft and do the outside with this. And that way it would be reversible technically, but I don't think I'm going to be reversing it. I think I'll keep this on the outside because I really like those colors and keep the soft stuff on the inside. But I will obviously have some left since I'm doing a half and half. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do a pair of DK weight socks. I've never done DK weight socks before. And I want to try them. I think they would be fun. So that is the acquisitions. I have a few things on my wish list, like Notion bags and things like that. And I really want some more stitch markers, but I'm going to need your help with that. So that's the end of this podcast episode. I'm not sure what I'm going to be packing up with me today to bring. The last time that I went on a trip to Indiana, I brought too much knitting, which, you know, is stereotypical. But yeah. Well, gotta go.